This car broke the internet and divided the BMW community in half, yet still managed to become the most most flexed, and most tuned car of this generation. The G80 M3 is hated by purists, yet worshipped by TikTok. It's got a huge grille that people said would make BMW go bankrupt, yet somehow it's still everywhere. So here's the real reason why the G80 M3 is the most popular car on the planet right now, even if half the car world can't stand this thing. So it's no secret the G80 M3 is the most popular car in the world right now. And every time I open up TikTok or Instagram or go to a local car meet, it seems that this car is always there. And there's a few things that make this car insanely popular right now, and a few things that are making people trade their Z06s, RS6s, RS7s, M5s, and other high-performance sports cars around the $80,000 to $100,000 range for this. Now, when I said I would take this car over a Corvette Z06, a lot of people on TikTok got mad at me. And when I said this car was a better daily than the Audi R8, a lot of people also really got mad at me. But in this video, I'm going to give you the 3 biggest reasons why the G80 M3 is absolutely everywhere and why it's one of the best and most popular cars on the entire planet right now. And I'm going to start off by explaining to you this, the front grille, which when it came out, everyone hated. People literally said BMW was going to go bankrupt because of it. Yes, it's huge. Yes, it's not that good looking. Don't worry, because this thing is probably going to be changed out in the next video that I upload in this channel. But yeah, it's huge. Yeah, the little hexagon pattern on the bottom doesn't really match with the horizontal lines of the front grille, but that grille might just be very necessary because of this. Also, side note, before we continue, I'm shooting this video on my iPhone today. It seems that a lot of YouTubers that I watch personally, I found out they've been shooting their videos on iPhone, and for some reason, a lot of people seem to like it a lot more. So if you like the quality of this video and the way it sounds, the way it looks, let me know if you like this style down in the comments below. Let's start off with arguably the biggest reason why people love this car so much. That is the BMW S58 engine. Now, the S58 engine comes with about 500 horsepower from the factory. However, with most BMWs, we know that nobody is keeping this thing stock. With very, very simple bolt-on mods, you guys all know the formula for pretty much every single BMW. Downpipe, tune, flex fuel kit, E50. This thing makes 750 horsepower to the wheel. And this thing will make that 750 horsepower not to the rear wheels, but to all 4 wheels. Because this thing has variable all-wheel drive that can switch to rear-wheel drive to do some burnouts or just stay full all-wheel drive all the time. And with the way the drag racing scene is going right now, it seems that more and more tracks are closing and more people are choosing to race their cars on the street. So having a twin turbo car with the ability to make it 750 horsepower plus, if you add more mods than just regular bolt-on, carrying that amount of power to an all-wheel drive system just makes for a car that is an absolute unprepped track surface monster. Because more and more people are moving towards all-wheel drive setups right now, because when you think about the fastest cars in the world, what do you think of? To me, I think of Texas 2K, I think of GTRs, Huracans, R8s, all cars that are all-wheel drive. And while this car is not a Huracan, it's not an R8 by any means, it is pretty much a German GTR. And that amount of horsepower, 750 to the wheel, can be achieved with only about $3,000 to $5,000 in mods, which is not something you can say for a GTR, a Corvette, or really any other car of this price range. You can definitely supercharge some cars and make a little bit more power than this can, but how much is a supercharger? How much is it to install? This car can make 750 wheel with just a downpipe and a tune. You don't even have to do all the extra stuff like an exhaust, like air intakes. If you really wanted to do it cheaply, you can get any callus downpipe and just an MHD OTS map, which can run you about $1,500, $500 for the downpipes, and you're in for $2,000. And just like that, your car runs a 9.6 quarter mile. So yeah, the S58 just makes some insane power. You can even upgrade the turbo to some pure turbos and make almost 1,000 horsepower on that. And since this is an M car with an M engine and all M components, that drive shaft and those axles are a lot stronger than they would be on the lower tier trim models. And that transmission is a lot stronger, so it is going to last you for a lot longer. And I've even seen people with stock motor and stock trans pushing almost 1,000 horsepower to the wheel. Now, is that car reliable? I don't know. Depending on who you ask, you might get different answers. It would be in your best interest to upgrade your trans or upgrade your engine internals at that level. You might end up being a one-hit wonder on track day, but at least you can say that my car is a stock engine car with 1,000 horsepower, and you actually made it pass with it. That's not something a lot of other engines could say, not something a lot of other car owners can say. But yeah, even though the grille is ugly, this car can hold 1,000 horsepower, so I think that's one of the biggest reasons why people don't really care about the grille anymore. It doesn't really matter what the front looks like, because half the time, if you've got that much horsepower, the competition's just gonna be staring at the rear the whole time. So Corvette guys, Hellcat guys, get used to this look, because it's the only thing you're gonna see. But what other things are there? Because let's be honest, you put enough money into any car, it's gonna become a race car. But why are people buying G80s specifically over M2s and M4s? Well, that has nothing to do with the engine, and it has to do with everything that's behind it. I really think the G80 is the perfect one-car solution. If you were buying one car that had to solve all of your problems, this is it. This is the car that you buy. Because you know, if you live in New York, if you live in California, if you live somewhere where it's almost impossible to buy a house, and maybe you live in a condo, maybe you live in an apartment, you don't got space for 2 cars. You don't got space for a daily and a race car. So you might not want to buy a Corvette. You might not want to buy a coupe. You need a car you can take to the track track one day and take it to Home Depot the next. Well, the good news is that G80 has the space for that, because obviously this car is 4 doors, and that's what makes people choose it over an M2 and especially over an M4. The bucket seats are another huge reason why people buy these, because they look so beautiful from behind. These things are just absolutely gorgeous, but really the space in here is unmatched. I'm gonna go and sit inside myself, and I've got plenty of room behind myself. You've got plenty of room for children, for the BMW Bear, for the Carfax Fox. You can put a baby seat back here, and there's more space for the whole family. The interior is also gorgeous. That's not something you can say for a lot of cars, especially not for a GTR, because that interior is extremely dated. But look at this thing, man. The interior looks so beautiful. And of course I have the matching Yeti for the individual paint. What do you think I am? But hopping on the outside, that's not even the best part. The best part is really just the trunk room you get. You've got all of this space. I've gone on so many road trips. I've got kith floor mats I haven't put in the car yet, a grocery hauler, because yeah, I do groceries in this thing, plenty of detailing supplies, whatever stuff I need for the road. And yeah, you can pop both the rear seats down, and look, just like that, you've got all of this space in the back. That's not something you can say for the M4. It's not something you can say for a lot of the other cars of this price range. So yeah, we've got so much room for activities in here, and that's what makes me say that this car is the perfect one car solution. If you live somewhere where you can only have one car, or even just for financial reasons you can only afford one car, then this is it, man. You can get a decent mileage, good example of this car for like 80K. All-wheel drive, so you're definitely driving this thing year-round. I've got all-season tires on them right now. I'm waiting for them to go down so I can get some real summer tires, but this thing still grips very, very well. There is really just no other car for this price range that is as fast as this when you put basic bolt-on mods, that really has enough space for the entire family. And most people are looking for that one car solution, because let's be honest, you got 2 car payments if you got 2 cars, and insurance is not cheap right now, especially if you live in New York, Cali, or Florida. For the last reason, you guys have got to hear me out, because I know I'm onto something, and I know what I'm about to explain is something a lot of Americans can really relate to. I don't know where you're watching this video from. Hopefully you're watching from Europe. If you are, comment down below. But most people in America do not care about the way a car handles. The biggest thing that people care about in America when it comes to buying a performance car is drag racing. How well does it do in drag racing? Here in America, we don't have curvy back roads. We don't have beautiful roads that we can drive on. All of our tracks are closing, and most people will never end up taking their car to the track. I've been wanting to take my car to the track for years, but it's just so dang expensive. You gotta get new brake pads. You gotta do a brake fluid flush. You gotta have track day insurance. You gotta have a helmet, fire extinguisher, all that. But guess what? The streets are free. That is the sad reality of it. And while people don't want other people to street race, guess what? The real estate prices where tracks are only getting more expensive. And they're not building any new tracks, and they're closing down all the other ones. So it's very expensive to track your car, and not a lot of people are tracking their car anymore. In America, their #1 motorsport is drag racing. I'd say more people here drag race than watch Formula 1. I'd say more people here drag race than watch NASCAR. And this car is just a drag racing monster. It is the first M3 that I feel like is specifically made for being a drag racing car. Why else would they have put all-wheel drive? Why else would they have made the S58 off of the B58 platform, given it an extra turbo, and added more horsepower to it? A lot of people still don't understand that even though it's harder to tune modern BMWs because the ECUs are locked, which is not their fault, that's Bosch's fault, because Bosch is the one that makes the ECUs, and they're protecting their intellectual property, protecting their coding by not allowing people to go in and crack them. BMW still leans into the fact that people drag race their cars all the time. They recently said something like they're keeping V8s around specifically because Americans like them, and they're not putting any big hybrid motors into their M3s because they know Americans love these cars. Americans are the ones keeping BMW alive, and Americans are the ones that like to drag race all the time. So naturally, since BMW is the only one that has those numbers and statistics, they're gonna lean into that, and that's exactly what they did with this car. That's why you can make so much power with the S58. Yeah, the M3 is really fast, but they could have just made it like an F80 with more power. It doesn't have the same steering feel as an F80. The suspension definitely doesn't feel like an F80. It feels a little bit more like an M340 if I'm being honest. But they really leaned into everything Americans want out of a car. They have crazy bright individual colors, just like Americans want. They have crazy carbon seats because they know Americans love cars as a status symbol. So giving them something flashier to brag about is exactly what they know Americans like. My point is, America is BMW's largest market, and they leaned into exactly what Americans want. This is the first M3 ever that's over 6 figures. They know the aftermarket scene in America is bigger than ever, because in Europe, if you modify your car that much, you can actually get in trouble from the police for it. And in some countries, they can legitimately seize your car because it is modified, even if you have zero, and I mean zero, performance and engine mods. And if you don't believe me, just do some research and see how strict the regulations are in Europe. In America, you delete your cats, they give you a ticket. In Europe, you delete your cats, they take your car. So they know Americans are modifying their cars, they know Americans like to race, and they leaned into that. And that made this car just way more appealing and way more loved by Americans out of all people. All right, so good morning. I'm getting the M3 ready for its 3rd road trip of the year. That's probably the reason why I put so many miles in this car in just the 6 months that I've had it. Today is Friday. We're either leaving over the weekend or on Monday. Hopefully I'm able to put those grills on the car before we go, because that's what was in those boxes last week. If you guys watched this far into the video, I'll give you a sneak peek right here. That's what we're putting on in the next video, and if you're wondering where we're going to New York. So if you want to watch last week's video where I compared 4 of the best BMWs in the market, click this video right over here. But if not, we've got a great mod video coming up for you guys next week, so stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button, and with all that being said, guys, my name is Ryan from Gears and Gains. Got tons of great content planned for you guys. I can't wait. So I'll see you in the next one, and have a great day.